Hey, what's up? I'm Jeff. Catch Flights, Not Feelings podcast. This is the first episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm here with Maria. She's one of the top realtors in all of Florida, right?
That's right.
If you Google top realtors in Florida, her pretty face is going to pop up.
Maria Kazak.
Yeah, Maria Kazak. And she is from Ukraine. So we're going to be talking a little bit about her and Ukraine today and what it's like being a realtor in Miami. And for all you guys that don't know, Catch Flights, Not Feelings is kind of a spin-off of a book. It's in the process of getting published. Catch Flights, Not Feelings is a memoir about my life over the past 20 years of being a serial dating entrepreneurial airline captain, right? So think of like anyone that watched Family Guy, real life quagmire. I was addicted to women, constantly going on dates nonstop. I actually believe I'm in the Guinness Book of World Record for most amount of dates ever. So podcast, Catch Flights, Not Feelings, he says a little bit about crazy stories I've had over the past 20 years. That's what the book's about. Like I said, the book's in the process of getting published. It should be published within the next 3 months for worldwide distribution. Hopefully it's going to be a bestseller. And this podcast we're going to do once a week. I'll have interesting guests on each time and hopefully be entertaining. Use some good stories about, modern dating and what it's like living in Miami and stories I've had from traveling and everything. So it should be pretty cool. So it'll be about 20, 30 minutes once a week. And thanks for tuning in.
Hi, Jeff. How are you this morning?
Good. Why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Maria. I am 38 years old, which Jeff considered to be very old
Are
here
you
in
38?
Miami.
That's
yes.
not a lie? Okay. Because I round down too. It's okay to round down. Is that your actual age?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So what do you think about it?
I think you look good for 38
You told me so many times that I'm old.
We'll just say that I was just messing around. I think you're old for a woman in Miami, but there's nothing wrong with being old, right? You embrace it. Right? But I think you're still in your prime. Age is a number. It's like how you take care of yourself, right? Like I think 40 for men is like the new 30. But it's also my opinion that men age better than women.
That's true.
I mean, look at all these people we grew up watching on TV. You got the George Clooney's, the Brad Pitts, Tom Cruise. They all look really young. And whoever they co-starred with in the 80s, all their female counterparts, they're all like overweight. They're not really looking too good, right? So that's just I don't know if there's science behind it, but I think men age better than women.
I agree, yeah.
You agree? Okay, yeah. So at least we agree on that. And tell everyone she's one of the most popular, or she's one of the biggest realtors in Miami. So if you ever need a home to purchase or sell, right? Tell them a little bit about your real estate background.
My real estate background?
Yeah.
Okay, I've been a broker for 13 years. Mm-hmm. I used to live in Pensacola, Florida, and where I lived there, being a realtor was very, very respectful job. Mm. But when I moved to Miami and started telling people that I'm a realtor, I noticed everyone giggling.
Yeah, it's a joke.
We
don't take it serious here because
no one is taken serious. Because every girl is a realtor.
Yeah,
here.
Every hot girl in Miami is a realtor because there's a low barrier to entry, right? You don't need to go to college for it. You don't even need a high school diploma, right? You just go online, take a course.
Actually, 13 years ago, you have to have at least a green card to get your license. Right now, you don't.
Okay.
You just pass a course and you're a realtor.
Yeah.
And everyone does it.
Honestly, I even have my realtor license, but not here as it is in California because I moved here from LA. But so everyone's a realtor, but most people don't make money off it, right? And they don't take it serious. You have all these like hot girls, all these like rich guys, they say, oh yeah, I'll buy a house from you. But meanwhile, they just want to fuck, right? So how do you weed out people that like men, right? That just that you think just want to fuck you versus actually use you for a real estate transaction?
Honestly, it never happens to me that someone reach out to me for sex.
Really?
Instead of real estate. I want to have serious clients here.
Every time I slid into a realtor's DM that was like one of those like hot like influencer realtors, mm-hmm. I'm always like, oh, do you do real estate? When I start off with the real estate thing, even though I'm trying to get in their pants, I'm hoping that not necessarily getting their like take them out on a date and stuff like that, but a lot of like realtors, I think from what I understand, they deal with that bullshit. So you're saying it doesn't happen to you?
No,
none of your male clients try to fuck you.
No, most of the clients who I get is women who is men's wives.
So, but I always see you on yachts on your Instagram and stuff. So these guys invite you on their yachts, and you don't have to like.
It's not these guys. It's only one guy, one friend who I have, and he has a really big and nice yacht.
Yeah.
And he's inviting the same group of people all the time.
But most people, so it's just one friend. You're recycling the same yacht.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. All right.
So maybe when you see something on Instagram and thinking dirty in your mind, maybe it's not true.
Well, you're older, you're sophisticated, you have kids, you have a career, so you're not the typical realtor in Miami. But
I'm a real realtor.
Yeah, you're a real realtor.
Not a typical.
But most of these women, when guys like me are looking at their Instagram and we see them on yachts, like 9 out of 10 times they're with a man that's trying to fuck them, right? That's just the way it is. There's no free rides, and we just assume that anytime a girl's on a guy's yacht, she's either fucking with him or she's maybe fucking one of his friends or whatever, and that's obviously not the case with you.
No, not necessarily.
It's not just yachts. Anytime these girls are posting at the clubs or all these fancy places, they're always making it look like they're alone, right? A lot of these restaurants, like, oh, how could this girl afford this extravagant lifestyle like it? But she never posts a single photo or video with a man in her profile, so she looks single. And then we all know, we're not fooled. We know there's a man on the other side of that's paying for it, right?
Not always.
Yeah, it is. Well, if she's posting it, if she's with her friends, usually they'll post with their friends, right? I'm just saying, if they're posting just pictures of the food or the beautiful views or the yacht, and they're not really including their female friends, usually, like I said, they're one-on-one with the guy that they're not including. I have a rule. If I go on a date with a girl and she posts picture, let's say I take her to Mila's, that's all the Ukrainians' favorite place in Miami is Mila.
Casanios now.
Casanios, yeah, same shit, same order. But if she posts pictures of the food that I bought, she has to tag me in it. And I say, hey, if you don't want to tag me, then you're just going to have to pay for your portion. I think that's fair. What would you do if a guy did that to you?
And some of the guys don't want them to be tagged on Instagram.
Yeah, because they're married or something like that. But I have nothing to hide. I'm not trying to, I don't care if girls tag me. It makes, in my opinion, it makes me look better if I'm with beautiful women than other women on my Instagram that may be interested in me. They might get jealous and be like, oh, he's desirable. It makes you feel desirable if you're with beautiful women. Am I right?
Maybe.
Or would you just think he's a man?
No, I was thinking, he has too many women.
Yeah.
Not serious guy. Typical Miami guy.
Typical Miami guy. But conversely, so an older woman like you might not take me serious, but a younger woman might get jealous. Like, oh, those girls are on the yacht with him. They're at the nice restaurant. I want that to be me. He's a desirable man, right? He's successful. He can afford these nice places and the wine and dine you.
I know what we need to do. There is one app. It calls Mr. Number.
Oh, I'm already on that app. Yeah.
Are you on that app?
That's where I'm surprised you know about it, because I thought it was just for hookers. And you're not a hooker, but like, because I used to do this, I used to do the Seeking website, right? Where
a friend of mine, she shared with me this profile, so you can type in a guy's number, and read the reviews of this guy.
Let's see if I'm actually. Let's see if I'm on there still, because I actually have the. I used to be on there a bunch, and there's just one.
I have it right here. Give me your number.
Well, I'm not gonna say it on national TV. Okay. I don't know if it's gonna be on television one day. I can't be a little more. One report. I used to have a lot more, but what you could do is you could contact the customer service.
Let me guess. Email. I think it's going to say cheap. Cheap loser.
Did you put that in there? You put that in there?
No. Why would I do it?
All right. So actually, I don't feel that.
Let's look at the date. It was just recently.
No, it was a month ago.
April 3rd.
So it's just one.
2025.
I think it's the same girl that's been kind of trolling me on there. But like every time I call up the customers, that's pretty bad when you have the customer support number to this fucking hotline.
You see, Jeff, you should be very serious with women so they can leave a review to you like that. So
no, but the women don't leave good reviews. That's just for bad reviews typically. But essentially, guys. Get this app called Mr. Number. It was like cheap or free to use. Put your phone number in there, and it's going to tell you all these hookers that leave you bad reviews. It's not just hookers. I guess normal girls are starting to learn.
No, I only use it to look up guys.
Yeah, but and I don't even know how to leave reviews on there. But essentially, I think it started with like sex workers, right, and like strippers and stuff like that. Anyone that charges for sex, I don't give a fuck. If you're a sugar baby, like you're still a hooker, all right? And that's going to be a controversial view, but anytime a woman's only sleeping with a man for monetary gain, whether he's buying her a Chanel bag or fancy gifts or just straight up giving her cash, there's no difference. You're a fucking hooker. Own it, right? I mean, I don't care. I could own the fact that sometimes I'm an asshole. I'm usually nice, but sometimes an asshole, but I own it when I'm a dick. I admit it. Just own the fact you're a hooker, right? What do you think about that? Where's the line cross between sugar baby and hooker, or is there a line? Do you think they're the same thing?
it's very difficult for me to judge because I'm a very sophisticated woman.
Yeah.
I've been working myself for so many years, and everything I have, I own and deserve.
So you're taking the PC answer. You don't really want to answer because you're
So
afraid
I don't know what to tell you.
retribution. Yeah. But no, that's just my opinion, right? And I think, my opinion is correct because I think by definition, if you're getting monetary gain, right, then, you're a hooker. All right. I hate to break it to you. But that's just a cultural thing. And especially in your culture, you come from a small village in Ukraine. Did they have ride horses or something back there? You're riding donkeys?
Actually not. I'm from very big city.
Oh, you're from big city?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
it's very big.
A lot of people think that Miami is just Latinos, right? But there's a lot of, we're getting whitewashed now. A lot of people moving from New York, from LA, a lot of white, believe it or not, I'm part white, moving to Miami that are not Spanish speaking. A lot of people don't know there's a lot of Slavic people. Slavic is the nice way to say Russian.
Especially now, when the war in Ukraine started, so many Ukrainian people moved here.
Yeah, because it's easy, right, for them to come. They don't have to marry some douchebag like me to get a citizenship. They could just come and say they're from Ukraine, right? Then they get asylum visa. Like there's this girl Irina I know. You know Irina. I feel like everyone's named Irina or Darina over there.
Or Marina.
Or Maria, or Marina, right? It all ends with like an Ina, right? But Irina, I don't know if I could get sued for saying this, but probably not because she's, there's so many fucking Irinas, so I'm not going to give her last name, but she's this like short, petite, blonde girl, right? But she's a sugar baby, full-time sugar baby. She lives in Sunny Isles. That's where all they live. All the Russians and Ukrainians all live in Sunny Isles. What do they call it? Like Russian Isles or something? Is that the nickname? You don't know?
Never heard about it.
You never heard? Mm-mm. So she's there. She gets paid $10,000 a month from this one guy to see her once a week. Is that crazy?
How much do you pay her?
I don't pay her shit anymore. No, we used to. I used to give her a little bit of an allowance or whatever. But I was more of like a splendid daddy. I was never like a proper sugar daddy.
Isn't it the girl you was going to marry for her to get a green card?
Yeah. We're gonna cut that. We're gonna cut that part out. But no, we were gonna. Yeah, she was gonna cook for me, clean, fuck me. But she's too crazy. I found out that she's just a very crazy woman. For me, it wasn't worth the risk of losing this vast fortune that I built to some crazy girl. Because even if you sign a prenup, apparently if you have to sponsor someone to bring them from overseas, right? And I don't know if you know this, but if you sponsor them, then you're required, even if you get divorced, you're financially liable for them if they don't have a job. There's all sorts of weird loopholes where women could fuck you over if they want to, if you bring them over from Ukraine or wherever and marry them. So I'm probably not going to marry. I just want to marry for love now, not for money.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So maybe you need to stop talking about hookers and sugar babies.
No, I mean, I don't go.
And concentrate on
I'm focused more on
other
business.
women.
Yeah, I'm focused more on business now. Women have been a distraction to me. I've already been with thousands of women on dates. I'm a recovered or maybe recovering serial dater, as you may or may not know. That's part of what I wrote Catch Flights, Not Feelings, the book about, and why I'm talking about this podcast. It's my struggle coming from nothing, successes and failures in business, right? I've been at the bottom, I've been at the top, right? And being able to give people, some sort of sense that inspiration, I guess, where you could come from nothing and if you work hard, do good at it. And I was addicted to women. I'm not gonna lie. Every girl I saw, I wanted to talk to, get her number, try to chat her up. And it's not like I was addicted to the sex necessarily, although, I like sex, as you probably, can imagine. But it's not just about that. It's about the chase, being able to take a beautiful woman when there's so many guys hitting them up all the time and her choosing you instead of this other man to let inside her. And for me, that was kind of what I was addicted to versus just the actual act of smashing itself,
So what's changed now? So
now I'm a little bit older. I realized, I'm almost 40 years old. Well, technically 40. I just round down to your age, 38. I realized I'm not getting any younger for the first time in my life. Going through a quarter life crisis, if you will. And I say quarter life because I think people are going to just live to 130, because with science and technology. Mm-hmm. I know 25 used to be the quarter life crisis, but I think I'm going through somewhere between a quarter to a midlife crisis. What would that be, a third life crisis? I don't know. Are you good at math? No? Okay. Yeah, you don't need to be good at math to be a realtor. But I think that I needed to cut off or slow down my fuckboy ways because how am I going to find my queen, someone that I want to give me children? Because I do want children one day. I think I'll be doing an injustice to the world if I did not procreate, right? I think there's a lot of morons out there, having babies and procreating, having sex. I think more intelligent people like us should be procreating, right? So I need a kid, right? And who's gonna take care of me when I'm 90 years old, right?
So who is that queen? Like, describe her.
The perfect woman for me would be not fat, not ugly. That's a star, right? So yeah, I'm a little bit, I guess you could say superficial as far as looks go. But looks will only get you so far, right? I need a woman with intelligence, a good sense of humor. She doesn't have to be as smart as me, but even if she's 50% as smart as me, I'll be happy with that, okay? Pretty good. We have to have sexual compatibility. I don't want some fucking starfish that's just gonna. You heard of that expression? So that's the thing. When someone's English is their second language, a lot of times they don't know the expressions. Yeah. But starfish is someone that just lays on their back like a starfish and doesn't want to fucking do any work. They just want to get fucked. But me, I want a woman that's like, likes to go on top and do various positions and let me just be the starfish. But also put some work in. But I feel like if I'm paying for everything, I deserve to be spoiled in the bedroom, right? I also want a woman that's going to be able to cook for me, right? So a lot of these women, they just want to be taken out to fine dining all the time, and they want to be spoiled, but they don't want to put any work in. That's my biggest thing. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I feel like someone like you, although that you're too old for me to typically date, but I want someone like you, but that's like
but 10 years younger, right?
But 10 years younger. Mm-hmm, but were you the same person 10 years ago? That's the question. Were you going through like a slut phase back then?
What do you mean slut phase? Did you have a slut phase then?
Yeah, did you have a slut phase in your 20s? Like, where you're just sleeping with a bunch of different guys?
No.
And just like having
10
orgies?
years ago, I was married and having kids.
Oh, yeah, so... And that's typical in Ukraine, probably. They're still a little bit more traditional, where they get married younger.
Yes.
Well, how old were you when you moved here?
To United States?
Yeah.
I was 18.
18, okay.
Yeah.
So quite a while ago, 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. So would you consider yourself more American or Ukrainian?
Not American, but American mentality is closer to me right now.
Okay.
After all these years.
Okay.
I know very many Ukrainian girls, they just get to United States and they say, oh, I don't like American men. They're so weird. They're so this and
so
that.
So weird.
But for me, I'm like, no, they're not. You just need to live here long enough to understand American guys.
So what's their biggest gripe with American men, these Ukrainian girls? Are just, fob, the expression fob? Fob is fresh off the boat. They use that a lot in LA for the Chinese immigration. But
Ukrainian and like Russian Slavic men, they always like chasing women and they want to impress them right away to get them. So they give them presents, flowers, taking them to restaurants. Like it's from the beginning, right away. Yeah. They're going to call them, text them, like invite them.
So they're pretty much like
Later
bitches.
On, it's all like diminishing, like less and less. American guys different.
How does an American guy approach a woman then?
Very slowly. We expect to be approached like aggressively.
Yeah.
But you guys don't.
Well, it's because...
You don't text us for days or weeks or something like, oh.
Yeah. So I think part of the reason is why maybe we're not as pushy in the beginning as the Ukrainian men.
Exactly.
Is because we realize there's a lot of options out there, right? And we don't want to seem too needy, right? And a lot of these, I think, Eastern European people and different cultures, they are more old school where they feel like they have to do, it's called love bombing, right? Make the woman fall in love with you, get her to really like you. Then once they have them wrapped around her finger, then they feel like they could, do whatever they want, right? And then the woman relies on them for everything. And then the more that you depend on someone, the more control you have over them, right? And that's why a lot of these Russian, Ukrainian, even Middle Eastern men, they don't want the women to ever work, right? They want traditional stuff where the woman's just going to stay home, cook, clean, fuck, whatever. But then that gives them more control, right? More power because, like I said, when you're dependent, just like when you're too dependent on the government has more control. That's why socialist countries don't really
American
work.
guys don't do that like that.
No.
And Ukrainian women pursue it as they're not interested.
Yeah, so like just because I don't show up with a gift on the first date doesn't mean I'm not interested. It just means I'm not a pussy, right? I feel like I could win a woman over with my charm, my personality, and I don't need to get a girl gifts to be interested. Now, if I like a girl, she's cool after like maybe like the second, third, fourth day, maybe I'll get her flowers, but I'm not going to get her these fucking crazy flowers that all you Ukrainian people are posting online. I don't know if you guys know, but like
100 roses.
I was just making fun of you for last week. Every Ukrainian and Russian girl, they're always posting. They get these 100 flower bouquets that are like $500 bouquet of roses that these Ukrainian guys are buying them. And just insane. I would never do that for something that's going to die in a couple of weeks. Just for me, it doesn't make sense. I'd rather take that $500 and use it for something that's just makes more sense, right? Like, but I don't know. This is Miami. I have a lot of competition. There's a lot of guys with so much money they don't know what to do with, and they buy like. You remember that? Did I tell you about how I met this girl Polly in Bali last year? This Russian girl, but we kind of caught feelings, right? Because I'm used to just catching flights, but I caught feelings with her. And, she's a good lover, very beautiful, blonde-haired girl. And I can't bring her here because she's Russian, right? If she was Ukrainian, she would have been here already, right? But we've been keeping in touch the past several months. And but she admits she's like a full-time sugar baby right now, too. And she, some guy just bought her a $25,000 Cartier watch.
Nice.
And I was like, holy fuck. Like, part of me is extremely jealous because I'm not a woman getting spoiled like that.
You want to get a watch?
I want it free. I've never had anything for free, right? And these women, all they have to do is suck dick of the right guy, and they're getting a $25,000 watch. It's just insane to me how much money some of these fucking guys have. It's making normal guys. I wouldn't say I'm normal. I'm above normal, but I'm still not at the level where I could drop 30 fucking thousand on a watch just because a girl sucks good dick. But it just. I don't know what my fucking point of this is, but I guess my point is that it sucks because she's Russian, right? I can't get her here, and so many of these women, it's just so normal to whore themselves out. It's just like a normal thing for the right price, right? I feel like everyone has a price. It's just a question of how much. What do you think?
I think you need to change your perspective of viewing of women.
Listen, I'm just going by what I'm surrounded by. Like, speaking about older women, I want to tell you a story. I recently ran out of people to swipe on Bumble. I swiped every single person within 50 miles of me between the ages of 21 and 30. So I get a message that says, you're out of people, whatever, expand the
so
thing.
I think you swipe left good girls and swipe right bad girls.
Well, sometimes I swipe right on everything just to see if they'll match. But no, so then I was like, you know what? Let me put my age up a little bit. So I was like, let me see what these like. So I put it from 21 to 50 just to see if there's any MILFs on there, And typically I would never go with an older woman. Like, when I was 21, I had a phase where I would go for someone that's older just but ever since I got to be a little bit older, I was like, no guy in their late 20s to 40s wants to fuck a 60-year-old. Sorry, it just doesn't happen. Meanwhile, there's lots of women that will, because it goes back again to the age better. So I matched with this girl. She's Asian, big boobs, nice woman. We met in person, and she was 45, 5 years older than me. And we're talking, and she seemed a little butthurt when I told her what I just told you, how I just raised my age bracket, and then she was the first older woman that I've been on a date with in a while. And she's, I don't get it. Why guys always want to go younger? And I was like, I told her my opinion is because...
Do you want to feel dominant?
No. It has nothing to do with dominance. It's because there's going to be a certain time in a man's life when he can't get a 22-year-old ever again without paying for it, right? Now, you'll always be able to get one when you're like 50, 60 for the right price if you have the money, right? Which hopefully I'll still be, do pretty well in my 50s and 60s. But so I think you guys want to just get as much 20-some-year-old pussy while they're still young enough to just by courting them on dates and everything. So that's one thing, right? And then number two, I asked this girl, I was like, well, like if you and I dated or we're married, would you ever have like a threesome with your boyfriend? She's like, no, I did all that in my 20s. I got out of my system. That's exactly why. That's my point. Because you got all that stuff you want to experiment with out of your system in your 20s. That's why guys like me want to be with girls in their 20s, because they're more likely to give you that fun time of like having those three ways and like doing crazier stuff. Whereas when a woman's your age, she just usually more like focused on wanting to have a family and kids and kind of be a little bit more boring. Mm-hmm. Right? Would you agree there's some truth to that?
I'm having lots of fun in my life.
You did in your past, but now that you're
Now
pushing
even
40.
more.
All right, so let's
living
say.
in Miami, it's very fun.
Yeah, well, you're always on yachts and stuff, but you're not having orgies on the yachts, is what I'm saying.
No.
You maybe, and you're a bad person to ask us because you started having a family young, but there's a lot of women like you that did all that crazy shit when they're in their 20s and they don't want to anymore, right? Now, let me ask you this. If you and I were dating hypothetically, would you have a threesome with me at least once a year for my birthday as a birthday gift?
No.
See? There we go. There we go, people.
How can I say yes on camera?
Well, you can be honest. I mean, this is...
No.
So I don't think you would. Would you get jealous or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. I think I need to find that unicorn that is either bisexual or doesn't mind having threesomes sometime. And that would do that because I'm always going to be the type of man that wants to sleep with another woman. And instead of cheating behind their back, I'm always going to be upfront with them and tell them, hey, listen, you're either going to have to give me some threesomes or be okay with me doing something on the side.
Would you do threesome, 2 men and 1 girl?
No.
Why not?
Well, maybe if the other guy was paying for it, you know.
If he does.
If he paid enough, maybe.
If he paid enough, you?
Maybe if he paid. I just wouldn't want a guy fucking my woman for free. He would either, I would be more inclined to do like a foursome where I get to fuck his woman, right? So we swap it out. But if he just wants to come in and fuck my woman, then he's gonna have to pay at least like $10,000 for it.
To you or to her?
To me. I'm not a cuck though. To me, it wouldn't turn me on. Well, I'll just get bored, you know, watching him fuck my girl. That's why I said the only way I would do that.
You're ready to sell your woman for $10,000.
Yeah.
It's not even a Cartier watch. Come on.
Yeah, okay, maybe 20. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think in a perfect world, it wouldn't be monetary gain. It would be like, hey, I get to fuck his hot girlfriend. And she'd have to be just as good looking or better looking than you. I want to, if she was less looking than you, good looking than you.
So now I realized, why did you create this +1 app?
No.
Maybe it is for this reason.
That's not why I created +1. So to talk about +1, as some of you may know that follow me, I created an app called +1, right? It's a new type of social connection app to be able to instantly be connected to people without the need to swipe. I'm trying to make swiping apps obsolete, right? I don't know if you still use any of the Tinders, Bumbles. Are you on any of them?
No, not anymore.
You have used them though, right?
Yeah.
And as you people probably know, like I have a list. Look at my Bumble, and literally hundreds of people that I've messaged that we just never met, right? Mm-hmm. And it's extremely time consuming, right? Whereas in +1, there's none of that bullshit. You're not messaging a million people. It's event based. It's kind of like date based. You're looking at the date first, although it's not necessarily a date because it's not a dating app. You're just making new friends, networking, whatever you want. You put on there what you're looking for, and then people on the other end that are bored looking for something to do, like, oh, this guy has a reservation for Mila tonight. He's looking for a +1. Boom. Oh, he looks cute. I'm going to request to join. Then they request to join, and now they're instantly connected for later that evening or the next day, whenever it is. Or let's say Maria wants to find a new BFF to go to the beach with, right? She could put this, she's looking for a beach buddy today, right? The possibilities are endless. Whether you're an 18-year-old looking for someone to go study with in your university or someone that's in their 70s looking for a bingo partner and everything in between. +1, we're like I said, trying to make the traditional swiping apps obsolete and giving people their time back and getting people off their phones and outside actually connecting the most efficient way possible.
I think it's so smart.
Thank you.
Yeah, and knowing you for a year, I think you're a really smart guy.
Thank you.
So
and I didn't pay her to say that. I didn't say
Look, so handsome, fit, smart guy.
Thank you.
But falling for wrong women.
Yeah, wrong women. I know. Well, unfortunately, most of the hot girls in Miami are those wrong types. So you have to find the diamond in the rough, right? You got to find that needle in a haystack to be able to find the girl that has the looks that you're looking for, plus that's not a gold digger, that has her own career, right? So, yeah, it's tough. It's tough being a guy. But I think +1 is going to be good. I know you downloaded it, you played around with it a little bit, you liked it, you put it on there for Casamigos.
Yeah, it's very easy to use.
And then also we have the reliability score in there. I don't know if you saw, but after we could practice this later because it's in beta testing now still, and we're going to be releasing it to the public soon. But what happens is after you meet up with someone, you get to answer 4 questions about the meetup, how it went. Like, did they show up? Were they on time? Were they sorry? Yeah, 4 questions, right? Would you meet them again? And then if you answer yes to all of them, they keep their 100% score. If you answer no, right, it figures out the percentages, and then that way you can instantly see someone's profile and then see, like, is this person reliable? Should I approve them to come with me? or should I not? Right? That was past meetup. So yeah, that's gonna be cool. I think everyone's gonna, a lot of people are gonna utilize +1 to find companions for pretty much any type of event or activity.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah,
I will use it when it's going to be live.
Yeah, and then and since you're a realtor, I was telling you before, but like you could use it. You could put you're looking for networking.
Who want to buy a house?
Yeah, you're looking to go to open houses. Like maybe there's like some mega mansion that you want to tour, but you don't want to tour alone. You can find some guy that's in the market looking for a house to go with you, right? Or a realtor. Like you realtors are always doing like a networking event. So you can find a +1 to go to a real estate networking event. The possibilities are endless. Like fuck this Tinder shit. I'm not just saying this because I was banned from Tinder. Right, and I had to fucking get a new phone.
You was banned from Tinder and you created your own app.
Yeah, pretty much. Tinder and Bumble. But I did end up getting Tinder and Bumble back, but I didn't get Hinge back. But I was at Formula One the other day. You didn't go at all?
I didn't go, no. Did you like it?
I don't know why people like Formula One so much. It's just a bunch of fucking cars going around in fucking laps. And it's like...
So what did you do there?
I just went for the Instagram photo. I thought it was going to be cool. Like I thought it'd be like... lots of hot girls, which there was. But if you're just in like the general area population, it's not that cool, right? I'm not going to spend $10,000 to go to the fucking paddock area or whatever. And you get these girls that are going for free, right? And they're posting, making themselves look so cool. But for me, it wasn't really worth it. Just the only way I would do Formula One again would be if I was in like the paddock or one of these VIP air-conditioned lounge with nice bathrooms.
Or go to Monaco.
But for me, like I just didn't see the appeal. Like these cars, they drive by in a second, and then they're all. I don't know. For me, it just was kind of boring. It was cool to get some photos and say I've done it, but I don't understand why Formula One.
I think this is why everyone went there, just to take a picture.
Just for the photo. There are so many influencers there. They just want a lot of this stuff is just to be seen. Like out of all the events in Miami, I think Music Week is probably my favorite. Right? I love live music.
I love music.
Yeah. And then like second favorite. I like Basel. I mean, I like art too. So I think Basel's cool. What would you say your favorite?
Music Week.
Music Week.
I had so much fun at this music week.
Yeah. What's your second favorite event?
I don't like Basel that much because it's so much traffic.
Yeah.
All the same art all the time.
Well, the good thing about Miami, where I like living here, is always something going on, right? There's always.
Every week. And today is Cinco de Mayo.
Oh yeah, we should get some tacos later. Yeah, we should get some tacos.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I think, I think this is a good little chat I had with you. You're cool. I always like you because you always give your honest opinion.
Oh, I like you too, Jeff. You're so smart.
And you have big boobs.
I wish you the best.
She didn't know she was going to be on camera, or she would have. She thought it was just an audio.
Surprise.
She thought it was an audio only podcast. I apologize for her appearance. She would have been a little more done up, I'm sure. Would you have? Would you have wore something that showed your cleavage a little more?
No, I would wear something more covered, to look like a realtor.
More covered, yeah. No, you're pretty cool. Good people. If you know any nice Ukrainian girls you want to hook me up with, by all means, let me know. But I'm not marrying them. I'll tell you that. Not until I get to know them first. But no, thank you so much for coming and entertaining me.
You're welcome, Jeff.
Do you have like a website you can tell my followers about to see your realtor stuff? Or Instagram?
I think it's fine.
Yeah, you don't want it? Okay, all right. I'll try to give you free publicity on the soon-to-be biggest podcast in the world. You guys are watching history. Catch Flights, Not Feelings is going to be I would say we're going to probably surpass Joe Rogan within the next year. So I love Joe Rogan, but sorry, you're going to be number 2 pretty soon. So, yeah. Well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Have a hug. All right. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
All right.
Bye.